Chapter 8 of Acts starts with verse 1 saying that Saul was one of the witnesses of the martyrdom of Stephen, the first martyr, and he agreed completely with the killing of Stephen. And then it's going to turn to this statement. It says that a great wave of persecution began that day, sweeping over the church in Jerusalem. And so all the believers except the apostles were scattered through the regions of Judea and Samaria. Now, if you go back and read Acts chapter 1:8, you're going to see that this is exactly what Jesus had predicted in essence. He said, you're going to be my witnesses in Jerusalem first and then Judea and Samaria. And we're seeing it happen right here. This terrible thing, this persecution, ended up becoming a wonderful thing for the church because it says that all the believers were scattered. And look at what it says in verse 4. And the believers who were scattered preached the good news about Jesus wherever they went. So again, just pay attention to that. It wasn't the apostles, it was regular believers, because regular believers are supposed to make disciples. It's not just ministry people. It's not just pastors and leaders. It's regular people. We're all supposed to be going out making disciples, helping people pursue God. Again, I'll put a link here if you want to learn more about exactly how to do that using the resources that we have online. But that's our job. That's the picture that Jesus had in mind for every Christian. And it says in verse 5, for example, Philip went to the city of Samaria and told the people there about the Messiah. Now, this isn't Philip the apostle. This is a different Philip. He's just a regular guy, and he goes into Samaria. And hey, while I'm there, because it's just what a Christian does, he told people about Jesus. And you can read more about what happened there. It's a great story. But many people in Samaria became Christians. And so when the apostles in Jerusalem heard about that, they sent Peter and John there. So Philip's the one who started the work, not the apostle Philip, just a regular guy, Philip. He started the work, and then Peter and John go there, and they continue to do the ministry there in Samaria. So now the Christian message is spreading beyond Jerusalem into Samaria. And it says down there in verse 25, after testifying and preaching the word of the Lord in Samaria, Peter and John returned to Jerusalem, and they stopped in many Samaritan villages along the way to continue to preach the good news. Have you picked up on this? The disciples in the early church were all about helping people to pursue God, just like we should still be today. Now, back to Philip, verse 26. As for Philip, an angel of the Lord said to him, go south down the desert road that runs from Jerusalem to Gaza. And so he did, and I'll let you read this for yourself. He meets this Ethiopian eunuch, and he shares the gospel with the Ethiopian eunuch. And it says as they rode along, he accepted Christ, and as they rode along, they came to some water, and the eunuch said, hey, is there some reason I shouldn't be baptized? And so he ordered the carriage to stop, and they went down into the water, and Philip baptized him right there. Remember, regular guy Philip. He wasn't the apostle. He wasn't a big spiritual leader in the church. Regular guy Philip shares the gospel, baptizes a person, and then it says in verse 40, meanwhile, Philip found himself even farther north at the town of Azotus, and he preached the good news there and in every town along the way until he came to Caesarea. The thing I want you to just pay attention to as you read this chapter, this is an important chapter, is just how important it was that regular people were going out sharing the gospel. And so we begin to see what Jesus said in Acts 1:8 come true here in Acts chapter 8, that the message is spreading beyond Jerusalem. And we're going to see that it spreads even more when we get to the next chapters. But for now, you're ready to read Acts chapter 8. We'll see you tomorrow for chapter 9.